Thank you for jumping on the game with me. And this will just be a quick playthrough for everybody in the Kickstarter so they can see how it's played. This would be a similar experience that everybody else would have, so we might have a lot of questions about the rules. Rulebook is here in Tabletop Simulator. Tip card here walks through the steps of a turn. As we move through the steps of the turn, you'll draw, and it uses the acronym DRAMA. So you can remember the acronym DRAMA, you'll remember the steps. So D for draw, R for regroup. And the regroup step is when you're going to get an energy resource from this resource pool over here. It would be one of these energy cards. Those will be like your lands and magic. And those will just come to you. They don't live in your deck. Next, you're going to move into act where you'll play cards, place cards face down, and you'll see all these kind of actions as they happen. But from there, once you're ready, you can move into that move step. This is where you'll move pieces like a rook or bishop in chess. If you have battlefield cards out, you can then use them to start attacking your opponent. Then you'll go back to your act step for the second one, so drama, the last A there, and reconfigure your field however you want, but you can't move cards around. So you can only play them. And then you'll end your turn. And then it passes to the next person. There are other complicated bits in here, but this will be the most basic kind of way to play. And like anybody, we could mess up in the rules, but we'll figure it out as we go. So you start with the opening hand of 5 cards. And then as the first player, I'm not going to get to draw for the turn. This offsets the advantage, but I will be able to regroup, which will give me one of these energy cubes. It'll go over here on this side, and I'll use this line, or I can grab one of these cards. So, for example, I could just have this and tap it like land, okay? There's a cap of 32 of these, so this is a shared resource pool, and that's how that would work. All right, so I'm not going to use this because I don't need to, and forgive my lack of skill on tabletop. I'm not a pro here. But I will put a card face down for the game out here, and then I'll use an await counter on it. The await counter, an ability, is something that I can do to decrease the cost to play the card at a future time. But if I do this, I can't play it right away, so I have to wait around. So we're awaiting the arrival of this card. And with that, I can't do anything else, so I'll pass my turn.
All right, I'll start my turn. I get to draw 1 card. I will go to regroup, which will get me an energy cube. Then I get to go to my act phase. So I think I liked your play, so I think I want to do the same. I'm going to play a face down card here with an await counter. Then that'll cost me 1. Or no, that doesn't cost me anything yet. And then I'm going to... Now, face down cards don't count as anything in play, correct? They wouldn't be considered like a ground avatar or anything?
So they are considered a ground avatar, actually. Anything face down is on the ground. Anything face up that has the fly facet is in the air.
Got it. Okay. Let's see. So in that case, I'm going to be a little cheeky and see if this works. I'm going to attempt to hard fall this card here.
Okay. So that will force this card to be flipped over. And just reveal this to everybody. So target ground avatar gains 2 stun counters. So what that's going to do is when you target a card, if it's face down, it gets flipped up. Now I have these 2 stun counters. They'll get placed on the card. Now I have the await counter on this, and when this gets flipped up, I have to pay the cost, which is in that top left corner there. That's 2. So I have to pay 2 energy, but this await counter means that I only have to pay 1. Lucky for me, I have an energy cube I can activate, which I'll do to create energy with it. I'll tap it to create 1 energy, which will allow me to pay for the card, which will then remove the await counter because I've paid for it. Basically, I'm just cleaning up here, and now it's played. Now that it's played, I could begin using it, but because I'm stunned, my card cannot move or change orientation. So it gets locked into this exhausted position when I get stunned. And that basically means this card is not going to be attacking.
Okay.
So you got me.
So that will finish resolving there. I was hoping it was the 3 cost. I was being cheeky. All right, and with that, I will not choose to move as I have nothing I want to move with, and I'll end my turn.
Okay, so I'll draw for turn. Start getting some cards in here. I will now get an energy cube, and then I'll untap this stuff. Forgive my circling there. I'm not sure how to go the opposite direction. with the tapping. So then what we'll do here, I'll kind of examine my cards. I don't have a lot going on. I have a card out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play Treasure Map. Now this is not a battlefield card, but I'm going to put it out on the battlefield so everybody can see it. When you play an action card, and that's what this is, second keyword up just at the title of that text box there, it means that I can play it, and it says on play. So when I play it, I can plan two and draw one. Plan is basically scry and magic. So I would technically play it out here, and then when it's finished doing what it does, it'll go into the graveyard. So I'll resolve what happens here first. So I'll plan two, which will allow me to take the two cards here. I can arrange them, do what scry does in magic. So I actually really like both of those cards. So I'm going to put this one, and you can arrange them in the order that you want. So I'm just going to arrange them as so. I'm going to put this away, and then it's going to let me draw one card. So that treasure map's final effect. So I get to draw into this thing. Then since I can't, I guess since I can't play that because I technically needed to pay 2 for that, so I'll tap these. I did that out of order. Should have created my energy first, then played the card. Then I'll just place that face down and put an await counter on it, and that'll be my turn.
Okay. And then I believe at the end of your regroup, you would have lost a stun counter from your Eagle
Correct.
Commander, right?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Cool. All right. For me, go. I will draw a card. I will then regroup, which will untap, and then yoink one of these bad boys. Now, I'm going to go to my act. I will choose to. Let's go ahead and flip this up
Nice.
for a Fury Troll, which will cost me 1 because I had the await counter. So it has Bruise Dodge. On play 1, it gains a power counter, and then on dodge, I can pay 1, otherwise I lose a life.
So with the
So I'm assuming on play means when I flip it up, right?
yes, yep, on play. So when it's played.
Okay.
Now the 1-1 there, or 1 circle, is a energy symbol, so you have to pay extra to get that power counter on it. So you have to pay an additional 1.
I think I'm going to be
You have that spark over
cheap
here. You
and
can
not
use
pay
it
True.
if you wanted to.
But I also poorly trade into the Eagle already, and adding the power counter doesn't really give me much advantage. It would be 4, but I'm not getting a whole lot off of that.
Now, technically, you
And
have
I
enough
do.
strength if you did move to attack. And again, things move to attack. I'm going to grab your card here. They move in a straight line like a bishop or a rook. Okay, everybody that's watching this. So he can move forward straight up to 2 spaces. You can't go 3. So he could technically move here and attack this card. This has a 2 defense, and it won't attack him back because it's exhausted. So this won't deal battle damage because it's in that horizontal position. Whereas his, when he swings at this, because he's vertical, he will deal damage. So his 3 attack will take this out, and then this one won't deal 2 damage to him when he hits it. It'll eliminate this card if he wants to do that.
Which is what I wanted to do. And I'm also hedging my bet that hopefully the thing you have face down doesn't have 4 toughness. So I'm going to keep that spark for now. And I'm going to play down. Is that worth it there? Probably not. I think I actually have to do it for this guy. So let's also do.
One thing I will comment while you're thinking through your play, just for everybody watching, is that when you're playing on Tabletop Simulator, what you'll note is this game will take probably twice as long as it normally would in person. And that's just because of the clunkiness of Tabletop Simulator. I've kind of seen that these games typically take about an hour and a half to play on TTS. In real life, typically I've seen it take 25 to 45 minutes. And I think it's just because it's easier to see the board and just engage with the cards in that way. Or it could just be, I'm not very good at Tabletop Simulator, but something to note to everybody.
So I'm going to actually awaken this, or put that on a wait. Then I'm going to play a card that I hope I can play because there's a symbol on there I don't recognize. The break-in.
Yes. So that symbol you do not recognize means that it's an instant, or you can play it any time.
Ah, okay. Cool.
So normally action cards
I'm
can
gonna
only be
play it
played
now.
during your turn, but you can, if it has that little bang symbol, it means you can do it anytime.
Perfect. Well, any time is now.
Okay.
So I get to take the top card of your deck,
Correct.
and then if it has a base, I'm assuming I reveal it, or do I look at it for
Yep.
myself?
You just look at it for yourself. And then the keyword take there means that you put it into your hand. So it's technically going into your hand,
Ooh.
which could be
And you'll never see what I took.
correct.
Although I guess I have to confirm. That's an interesting question. What if it doesn't have a base cost of 3? But if I don't show it, how would you ever know?
Correct. So then I need to put the keyword in this text, and this is part of the play testing, that we'll be doing during Kickstarter, catching little nuances like this. And there's also a card database where it's easy to add notes, like this is how it should be played if there's a typo or something. But technically, it would say take the top card of your opponent's deck and unveil it. So unveil would be the keyword there to keep the cheats from happening. So that's a good observation. And I have a notebook just in
And to
case.
prevent the cheat, I will show it's a counter action, which I'm going to yoink from you.
Yeah, I just put that there. Now, what does it say? If
I
it has a
figured you
base
put
cost.
something good back
Yeah,
on
I
top.
did. I was excited about that one. I was like, that's going to let me counter the card that you just took from me. But alas.
Okay. So that'll be my act. So now I'm going to go to move, and I'm going to have my Fury Troll bonk the Eagle
All
Commander.
right, you took me out. I'm toast here. I like that card.
Then, it seems good. Then I'm going to go to my act again, and I think I am good just hanging out there, and I will end my turn.
Okay. I'm going to speed up just a little bit here. I'm going to draw for turn. I'm going to increment this to 2. Then I'm going to, not the whole stack, just one. Let's draw one of these and then I'll just put it down. All right. Okay, so we've got 3 here, 3 open. And then, let me just check. I think it's, what is it? I know it's a combination to peek at my card here. There it is. All right. So I'm just
Yeah,
checking
Alt
for the
Shift.
cost there. Okay. So that will be good. Yep. And then I'm going to play another action card. This is direct hit. So I'm going to target you, and you're going to lose 3 life. I'll
What?
draw a card.
That's broken.
Yes, it is, and I like it. It's something I tell people, like, there's always broken cards in a card game because eventually one of them will be better. It's like how broken the queen is in chess. It's like there's going to be a card that is broken. There's going to be a piece that is broken. You just have to plan for those broken cards when you're building decks. I would say that it's possible the cost of this card does go up if I get that kind of feedback too much. So again, Kickstarter is a great time for people to get in, play, complain, tweak things. But I mean,
Listen, all I saw was the word draw one card, and I'm like, that's too good.
it is good. All right, that's going to be my turn. I'm taking some risk here by not playing some battlefields, but we'll make it.
I'm gonna draw one card, get some cube, and let's take a look. So now I can do that. I don't think I need to add another counter onto there. Ooh, this card seems spicy. Let's see. I have 4 for that.
While you're thinking,
Okay, I guess this would force.
I was going to mention something to everybody that's watching. When I say we're going to update cards during tabletops during Kickstarter, it doesn't mean that the game isn't ready to go. It simply means that if people want things tweaked, if they find something they don't like, happy to make adjustments based on feedback. Like, I'm not overcommitted to 252 plus or 250 plus cards and how they're written. Like, I'm okay with having things changed.
I think I'm going to. So if I do that, don't think I can risk that there. I could try this, but that probably wouldn't be very good. So now, if I want to target a face down card,
Hmm.
like I have a card that says like, I don't know, destroy target. I would target the card, it would flip, and
Correct.
then I would do the comparison on the effects, right?
Correct. Yep. Yep. So
Okay.
the targeting, anytime it's
So,
targeted, it will flip over, or a counter is put on it, it will flip over. The await counters are the exception to the rule. They don't flip it over.
okay,
So
perfect.
basically,
So
if
in that
anything
case, I'm
gets
going,
touched specifically, if a card specifically gets touched, then it has to be flipped over. Like if there's a card that affects the entire board, then it's not targeting, it won't flip the card over.
got it. Okay. So in that case, I'm going to be a little bit of a gambling boy,
All right.
and I'm going to pay
4.
3 and a spark, and I'm going to try to rain lightning that face down card.
Okay. We'll just take a look at Frame Lightning for everybody. Target destroy with a base cost 4 or more. We don't know the base cost, so we're just going to target it. It doesn't have a cost technically when it's face down.
Wonk.
Oh, sorry. You're going to, all cards in the row or column are going to gain 2 damage counters. That's what you're doing.
Can I not do the destroy target with a base cost?
No, you can't do that one.
Or because there's not a valid.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha,
But you
gotcha.
could throw 2 damage counters on it. Now, those damage counters will last forever.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to pretend it didn't happen, and let's see, because I misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, I'm actually going to move to my movement, and I'm going to try to bonk that thing.
Okay. So that'll flip this. Then we're going to be comparing a 4-2 to a 3-1. I'll move these counters off. I have to pay 1 for this, so I'll tap my last guy here. Technically, it's called activating a cube. I don't want to use the tap keyword, but
Okay.
everybody uses it. Let's see.
hmm
On reveal. So on reveal means when this card is flipped over, it's going to get those bonuses. So this is technically going to be an 8-3.
Scary.
Sorry, a 7-3 versus your 3-1. So you're going to take 6 damage, but we're both going to get knocked out.
Okay.
Correct. Yep.
All right. Then I'll go to my second act phase. I'm going to do dun 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 dun. Okay. So I'm going to play my charge caster for 0. Then I'm going to on play, I can pay X resource. So I'm going to activate. Let's activate 3
And you can use your spark as
to
well.
give it. Yeah, but I want to save the spark for something else.
Gotcha.
So then I'll get 3 power. Counters on this guy.
Power counter means
Then,
+2/+2/0. I can't use a +1/+1 counter. That's a magic copyrighted thing. But anyways.
so now my boy's a
Power
6/6. So then
He's a 6/6.
I will put, because it'd be each power counter is a +2/+2, right?
No, +1/+1.
Oh, plus one. Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
So he's a 3/3.
I'm going to gamble a little bit some more with a technical maneuver. I'm going to pay my spark. I'm going to draw 3 cards. And then I'm going to choose to discard 2 cards. So let's discard the Prismatic Dragon. And let's do an Inferno Dragon.
No dragons.
Not yet. Then that'll be end of my act, and I will hit my end and pass to you.
Okay. I'm going to draw for turn. Let's see. Oh. E. There we go. I'm going to circle on around. I think one of these is actually...
And Q also goes the other way for
Q?
those, by the way.
Okay. I'm always afraid of Q on the keyboard because I'm like, is it going to quit me? Okay. All right. And then I'll get my cube for the turn. If you forget to get a cube, you're out of luck in this game. So there is a chance that if you get too focused, and that's just for the competitive side of the game. All right, so I've got 4 available. I'm just going to go full swing. Pay 4 for that guy.
There he is.
He's a 5/5. Now, the thing about him is if I swing deep, I got a -3 on him, so my life total is going to be wide open with that, and I'm going to lose a big card if I swing with him. So it's a pretty high risk for me to play that and then go deep into your zones because you can attack that flanking that we'll see probably in a little bit will come into play. So we'll see that happen. So I'm going to wait on this card here and then swing into your guy.
Yep. So I will take 2.
Yep. That'll be my turn.
Okay. All right. I will draw. I will regroup. And I will think.
Typically, these games will go for about the game itself is designed to go about 10 to 14 turns per player. So just kind of keep that in mind when people are playing. If you go under that or above that, it's either luck or, like in your case, you're learning how to play. You can stick around with 9 life for quite a while. I'm not saying you're about to lose because this is still a pretty early game.
Oh no!
But if in case people are wondering, because I'm still at 20, that's not always the case.
Okay, so I have an idea. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna plop it there. Get no weight counter.
Note this guy cannot reach that card. It cannot move sideways. Nor can it have the distance. This would take 3 spaces to get all the way over here. So this 5/5 that I have is pretty much useless at this point against any of his cards.
And I'm going to play a Resurrection.
Nice.
And I'm going to target this Prismatic Dragon.
Nice. If the card's base cost is 6 or more, sacrifice it at the end of the turn.
Yep. So then Prismatic Dragon will plop down. I assume the on play will trigger.
Yes, you'll draw 3 cards. This is.
Oh, so yes, I'm going to draw 3 cards and then put
some pain on.
5 await counters on here. Okay.
Wow.
Then I will go to my move, and I'm going to bonk your Axeman.
Okay. So when this happens, that third number that people haven't seen before, probably in a game, is this that number 3 will subtract from my attack. So my card will now only be able to deal 2 damage, but it's going to also buff his card by 3. So he's going to be a 13 hitting my 5 health, and I'm going to be a 2 hitting his 10 health on his card. And in this game, your toughness is basically called health, and health heals at the end of the battle itself. So not at the end of the turn. It heals pretty much right away. So this card's going to get knocked out. We'll go ahead and put your card there. Just love Dean's art.
Yep.
That's crazy good. All right, so now I'm going to take, what is that, 13 minus 5. Is that right? 7?
Okay. 13/5
One more.
would be 8. Yep.
All right.
Okay. Then I'll go to my second act. And I think with that, I will move to my end, which will have me sacrifice the dragon.
All right. Excellent play. I'll draw for turn. All right. Let's increment. Nope. I'm actually going to go ahead and let me make sure I untap all this stuff. And
Ooh, I thought I almost got you. I'm not getting the cube.
yeah, call me out. All right, so I've got 5 here. I'm going to go ahead and play this one because I want to be able to do the things that it does. I'll flip this. Now this one allows me to on play X, gain 1 life, gain half whatever I have here. So I'll do 4 of these. That's going to let me
Gotcha.
gain
She'll gain 3 life
3
total.
life. And then now my movement, I still can't get to your card. I can't move diagonally. I have no diagonal move arrows. So I've got to approach this threat a little bit differently. So, and your card is vertical. Whenever a card is vertical, if I attack it, it will be able to deal damage back to my card, and everything has trample. So I'm going at risk of losing life because this card is not horizontal. Like if it was this way, then it your card would not deal damage to mine. So I would be like, why not attack it? All right, but I don't have that, and so I'm going to take a card here. I'm going to put this one face down and await on it. And I'll pass turn.
Okay. I will draw. I will not tap my deck. I will draw a card. I will gain my energy. Okay. Into my act phase. So let's do... Hmm. I think I'm going to play it nice and simple. And I will flip this. Oh, for
Oh,
1.
man. That card is so good.
Unfortunately, out of reach of anything, but it is a 7/5.
So it is in reach, technically. So the reach is,
Oh, because I'm diagonal.
yep.
Okay, that's right.
So you have that diagonal arrow there in the top right corner on my screen. That would give access to this card. So in reach means the card could technically move there, correct, with your line. So this card
Got it.
will take 2 damage. I can't dodge that. So dodge only allows me to jump out of the way of an attack, not effects. So that bad boy's gone. Or bad girl,
Okay.
technically.
So next I'm going to... Let's go to my move.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just go
Put on the
here.
pressure.
I'll go to my act. And I'm going to... Let me think. I guess I could do this. Let's put this here with an await. And with that, I will send it to you.
Okay. I'll draw for turn. All right, looking good. I'll get one of these. Untap all this. We are getting into the late game. It's typically where once you get to 6 or more, it starts really speeding up there. I'm gonna... What do I got? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So if I await on this card and bump it to 2 to reduce the cost, I can't flip it over. So I'm going to have to leave it at 1 if I want to play it, and I do. So I'm going to flip this card over. And then on play, I can pay 3 additional to destroy something. So let me get rid of my 4 here. So that's going to allow me to play the card. Then I can choose to pay 3. So I can create 2 more energy, and then I can use my 1 spark. You can use up to 1 spark per turn. They're like treasure, except you can only use one of them per turn. So that's all of my resources to get this guy, and then I'm going to target your big card here.
Okay. So because the reach would be...
So this card just straight up destroys something. Oh,
yeah,
wait,
target
sorry,
card, target
reach.
in reach card.
Okay, I forgot. I changed. This is the problem with creating a game, is you remember what the old version was. So yeah, I can't technically do any of that. Well, I'm just going to leave... I'm just going to leave it for the sake of not having to undo anything.
You still get to flip it. You're going to get 3 of your resources back.
Yeah, okay. I'll undo that part. Yeah. It's in some of the older videos that I've done. because I've changed the names of things so much, like the facet keywords, even the name of these energy cubes, they used to be called power cubes. So I can miss say stuff and not even notice. That's the problem with working on something for 18 years is you remember all the versions, but you don't know which one you're actually playing. So I'm going to move up here, get out of reach of this thing still. You definitely don't
Yep.
have access to it. And then since I have some remaining, I'm just doing everything out of order here. I'm going to actually play this Ivory Eagle here. I'll pay 2 for that.
Mm-hmm.
And technically I would have wanted to swing with that this turn, but I moved before. So I'm doing everything out of order. You can tell I am an A+ player at my own game here. And your move.
Okay, during the end of your turn, I'm going to rain lightning the Crimson Flame Dragon.
Okay. Yep. It was nice knowing you, Crimson.
You looked pretty. Now go lie down.
Right.
All right, let me draw a card, get my energies back online, and let's see what I can do here.
I will say, I'm going to have to give a shout out to the artists of the game. I reached out to a lot of these folks and just told them, like, I'm an indie game. I'm not a big company. What can we do? Or if they were on marketplaces for like basically fantasy art, I would purchase their stuff and then make sure, like, check or email if their licensing agreements were vague and just say, hey, can we use this stuff for this game? I'm wanting to make this passion project of mine a reality. And so many people were very generous and considered. Even very big name artists were like, yes, we want to help you in the indie space. And I just think that speaks volumes to the community at large of artists in the fantasy genre. It's just been a huge blessing, honestly, to be able to do that. Especially in the world of AI art, where like all of these new games are like bypassing that whole
Mm-hmm.
process and just being like, if I
Mm-hmm.
can't steal it legally, then I'll steal it in another way that's not quite as good. But anyways,
I'll take it immorally.
right. So I think there's a little bit of respect going on there as well for like the time that we live in from
Mm-hmm.
artists to say, I know the world's changing. Smaller publishers still want to make cool games with great art, so I'll be generous to that. So anyways, I just wanted to shout out to the very generous artists for like
That's great.
honestly, it was I'm still blown away by how much people really helped me out. So it's great.
And with that, I will play a Berserker for
Yes.
1.
My
Then,
speech here in the middle of our game.
uh,
Thanks for letting me multitask, by the way.
of course. Now I will pay 1 and awaken the fallen.
Hmm.
I'm going to delete my Berserker, eliminate my active Berserker. Then I will take 1 battlefield card from any grave and add it to my hand. Now the question is, which one do I want? So I can look at that.
There's lots of
I
good
think I
options in
kind of
there.
like that card. I've definitely loaded that bad boy up. So let's do... I think I'm gonna go and grab the Inferno Dragon, which I will grab once you're out of that. Great. Yep, I'll
Yep.
go grab
Sorry.
this. And I will add that to my hand. Okay. Next, I'm going to put 1 card here. And with that, I will send it over to you.
Okay. Draw for turn. Use Q. Getting quite a few cards out here. All right. Oh man, I love that card. All right. How do I want to utilize that? So at this point, I got to make some decisions on how do I get back in the game because the uh, we kind of stall out a little bit here at this leg of the race where we're trying to build up some forces. So I got to tap into that while we're kind of separated from your big guys. I'm going to play this one. I'm actually
Hmm.
going to plan and draw because I've got to get ahead on that before you get to. Now, this one I like. Those are all good cards. But and is it hold down T? How do I slide it under? Okay.
So
Yep.
if you hold the right and left click at the same time and then move it, it'll slide
Ah,
under there.
okay. I knew the little T trick there, but I didn't realize it would
Hmm.
could do both. Okay, cool. And then I think I'm gonna have to. Well, let's see. That's a good combo. Okay, I'm gonna go there. Go there. Be a little risky in the order. All right. So this one cost me 3. I know I'm probably making a lot of people upset for not doing
He's
things.
playing and then
I
tapping.
know. All right. So an interesting point. Oh wait, I didn't complete that. I'm supposed to draw now. Plan 3, then draw 1. An interesting point on the energy system, and we've already seen this, so I'm just going to do what it says, is that for that reason, I chose to do one type of resource. Well, that was one of the reasons among many, was I didn't want you to have to babysit how people are tapping stuff. It's like if they have the one kind, then it's fine. But then
Hmm.
also, I want to keep that. All right. I got to discard, or sorry, so everybody can see. I discard 2 cards, to lose half my life. I want to discard.
You don't lose half your life?
Not yet. Not yet. Maybe later.
Dang.
Um, yeah, so it just it kept that simple. You didn't have to babysit the other person's stuff. Then also, like, I want your focus to be on the board and what's happening here because that's already complicated enough. Resource management didn't need to be uh, an additional layer of complexity on top of something that's already being made more complex. All right. Like, just focus on the uniqueness of the game versus the non uniqueness. So, this guy's going to come into play. I get to do the same thing as you. Of course, I'm like, don't have enough energy to do that. So, me not paying attention to my resource pool there.
Ah, one short.
One short. All right. Instead, I'm going to do this. If you have 3 or less cards in your hand, draw 2. Otherwise, draw 1. Just want to dump this because I
It's
got to
pretty
get to
good.
some stuff here. All right. Your go.
Okay. I'm gonna think on your end here. I'm going to now a face down card, is that still considered an avatar?
Face down card has no type. The only thing, it's
Okay.
basically a ground avatar with a cost of 0.
Okay. So if I was to play this Molten Hold,
Yep. You have to target something that's face up, which would be my
okay,
eagle here.
I will hit the eagle while also getting to plan one.
So that will go 2. And then that will exhaust my card and
Seems
lock
pretty
it into
good.
position.
You know what? I'm gonna keep that on top. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my turn. So I'll draw that mysterious card. Untap, gain resource. Okay. I will. Now, if a flying creature is um tapped, can I hit it with a ground creature or is it still always just flying?
So all flying does is allow me to move through my own cards, but it has no other effect.
Gotcha.
So it's not like
Okay,
magic
gotcha.
where if it's flying, only flying stuff can
Cool.
get to it. It just helps me maneuver my board and my pieces a little bit better.
Perfect. Okay. Then I will. Can I do both of that? 2, 4. I could, but I don't think I want to. So let's do. Okay, I'm going to choose to increment this. Then I'm gonna play. Am I gonna play anything? Kind of chill.
Build up.
Let's go ahead and throw this
Hmm.
down.
So what we're experiencing right now in the game is why part of why I put the await system in the game is because at some point you're going to want to build up forces and to get enough energy to be able to play a lot of things at once to make some of these angular moves to try to make a big play. You just have to increase the tempo, and I thought the await system did a pretty good job of helping increase tempo and build expectation up to a moment.
And with that, I'm gonna play this rabid skunk. And let's put it. I believe I can put it here. And that'll make it difficult for you to dodge out of the way. So I will go to my move. Is that right? No, I'm gonna put it here. I think you can always go that way, but I can't do anything about that. So let's go here. Okay, I will go to my move,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously I'm choosing not to use the on play of the skunk. Um, and I'm going to try to bonk the eagle here.
Okay. Yep. Eagle is toast, and I can't deal damage to
Roasty
yours.
toasty. Then I'm going to move the goddess of death one here. And with that, I will go to my second act and pass the turn.
Okay. Perfect. I like how you're putting basically full coverage on all of my zones, so anything I
Oh, I'm trying.
have is gonna feel some pain. All right, so make sure I get all my stuff here up, and then let's queue on those, queue on these, double down on that so I can. My problem was I was having a hard time counting the cards there on tabletop my last turn, so let's not have that same problem this time. All right, so I'm gonna drop here this time, and I should have enough. So I've got 6.
Yep.
Tap those, and then if I wanted to use that on battle, I can, which I may. But for the first part, deal 2 damage to an in reach card. Opponent controls. It's going to be the Rabid Skunk.
No.
And then I am tempted to go a kamikaze on this guy. But before I do that, I've got a plan here. I'm going to do Marvelous Strength. I gain +4/+4 on a card and Indestructible.
Whoa. Yep.
So I'll have to spend 3 for that. And I have it this time. So that's obviously going to be this guy. And then I will move into your card here. And looks like I'm going to have 10 attack. You're going to lose 5. Ah. Okay. You're prepared. So this bounces back to my hand. My base cost was.
Granted, you'll get to reuse the deal too, but um, that's a pretty
Yeah.
good turn skip in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's great. You were about to lose 5. Redeemed yourself a little bit there. And now did I place one face down for turn? I have to place one face down right now, or I am basically toast. And the reason for that is if you clear my board or even touch everything on my side of the field, then you can hit me directly with this goddess of death here and deal 7 direct damage to
That's a
me.
lot of damage.
And you would have to do that, you would have to move here into my furthest zones.
Yeah.
But if I
Gotcha.
don't put stuff on the board, I'm in trouble. So you pass turn to
Got
you.
it. Okay. Let me not move that. Let me draw my card. Let me untap some cards. Let me gain my energy. And let's think. This card seems pretty good. Okay. So I'm going to go to my act. Hopefully this works the way I think it does. Because it just says card. So I'm gonna play. How greedy am I actually? Let's see. I'm gonna tick this up, and I'm going to also tick this one up. I'm being very greedy. You're tapped out. You have 3 cards in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if this works. I'm gonna play this Abyss Lich,
Okay.
and then
So that's a great late game
I'm gonna
card.
deal. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna attempt to deal X damage to this card here.
Okay. And you've got
Looking through this, I have
one, two, three.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Sure, it's not six. One, two.
I'm a card game player. I can't read. Let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah. All right, you're good. You got them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Yep.
Then this guy.
So I'm gonna try to deal 5 to that card. Yep.
Oh, to target card. So this guy can target anything.
Ooh, I got that right.
So this one here.
Yeah.
All right. So that's going to force me to flip this bad boy over. I cannot pay
Oh, it's
for it.
another X-Man.
Yeah, so I can't pay for it. Don't have enough. What that means is, I mean, my health is absorbed and destroys it. But because I can't pay for it, the card basically loses its ability to attack you if you were attacking it. And if it had any effects, they'd become meaningless. So if it said on play on the card, nothing would happen.
Okay. So then I will go to my
I'm about to feel some pain
move,
here.
and my goddess is gonna poke that guy.
Yep. Consider the poking victorious.
Okay.
Then you're going to hit me with
So
the
then
other
that's
guy, right?
with. Yep.
Six. There you go.
And
Tie
then you
game.
don't take any damage for that. Okay, and that'll be you.
All right. Well played. For I was sitting at 20.
I'm trying.
Thought I was doing okay, and then you break out some massive combos. All right, but now you see you're vulnerable, and you have so you have
Correct.
no weakness on this guy, but this guy is going to become a 5. Essentially, if I was to attack it, it would be as if it was a 4/5. So a 4
Yep.
attack, 5
Which
health.
isn't terrible.
No, it's not. Considering what's in my hand, though, I think I should be okay to do some pain to you, but I can't do all the things that I want if I go about it that way. So I'm just going to show everybody here. If I was to play the Goddess of War in this position, I could attack you from the side, but I wouldn't have enough strength to take out your card. I only have 6 attack. Okay. The reason I would want to do this is so I can deal 2 damage to this card potentially,
Mm.
because it would then be in
Hmm.
reach. But I can't do that because I need to be able to attack from behind. So I won't be able to target that card, and then I can't even play it here with that back angle to get this card with that effect because you're still kind of out of reach. But I could only target this one with that effect. But then I can't attack you from behind here because I don't have that back angle. So my only option, if I want to attack you from behind, is here. So I lose the effect because of the positioning of the board if I'm going to go and do that.
Hmm.
Now, I'm not going to forget to do this. I'm getting,
Ah, I almost got
yeah,
you.
yeah. I was getting a little excited to show off some of the mechanics there. But, okay. And did I draw for turn? I probably got way too excited and did. Oh, I did. Okay.
3,
Yeah.
4. Yeah.
Yeah, I drew. All right. So we're going to play this. I'm going to spin the 6.
Yep.
And then I'm going to attack from behind.
All right. So then I will go to So I'll be 4, 5, and you will be 8 to my 5. So I'll take 3.
No, so I just say it that way because it's easier to do the math. Technically, my
Hmm.
attack increases, your attack decreases. Your health would stay at 7 technically, but just
Gotcha.
for
Okay.
ease of calculation, if somebody's playing, you can just take that number and subtract it from the first two. There's a
Got
reason.
it. Got
There's a
it.
reason
Okay.
behind that madness. It's called critical damage, but we don't need to get into that right now.
Perfect. Okay. So I end up taking 1 from this, right?
Correct.
Cool.
So you've got that. Now I have the choice. When this card battles, I can pay 3 to get the effect. I have 3, so
It's a pretty good effect.
I will pay that. If I can collect them all here. Not the Pokemon. All right, so let's see what I got to do here. Draw 1, gain 1 life. And there's not a lot of cards in the game that gain life. What I found is that's not a great game mechanic when you have to like really work to get at other cards and deal damage on the field. It doesn't make sense to make effects do a lot of damage to people. So that will be a very limited thing
Hmm.
in the game because I want the battlefield to be the highlight here. All right. So I've done that effect, moved there, got a little damage on you. I think I am going to actually play. Oh, I can't play anything. I don't have the life for it.
You can put a face down.
I could. It's just so vulnerable at this point because you can drop anything and basically get rid of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to forego placing because that's just throwing a card away, and I don't think you'll be able to
Okay.
kill off this. Well, that's way too risky. I do have to place a card. You're right.
Hmm.
Yep, yep. All right, I got to at least put in front of this thing to try to circumvent specific angles. You can come at me here. Oh, this is where me knowing the cards is helpful. A lot of cards that have a lower cost, high attack tend to be able to shoot uh, forward and backwards and side to side because that's one of the most limited ranges of movement. So I'm assuming
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going to put that in defensive position. There's no reason for me or that
Okay.
exhausted. But yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Yep, I'm good. Thank you for bearing with the speeches,
Okay.
by the way.
Oh, no problem. I get the same way when I'm showing off stuff. Okay. Let's see. That's pretty good. Those are interesting. Let me think on these. So I think I need one more round of this. So let's go to my act. Let's tick these up. I'm just being extremely greedy. Then let's do.
Yeah, yeah. When you
I guess I could do it
when
this
you have
way.
those face down cards so far back, it's like, I wish I had put them a little bit further up so I could flip them and just come at you. Um,
Hmm.
but in the early part of the awaiting, it's like, that feels safe. But then you get them up, and it's like, dang it, I want it.
Okay, I'm going to. Is that worth it? I feel pretty okay with this setup. So, hmm, you do have a diagonal movement, but you're trapped in the corner, so you can't hit there. So I could move. Not having the bottom diagonals on her is a little awkward.
Yep. Yeah, a
So,
lot of the mid cost cards have limited backwards movement.
hmm.
You would think having a lot of attack
So
on a
then,
card in defense would be OP, but once you consider the angles at which they can move and the fact that they might have weakness, it really helps balance it out.
so let's do. I think I gotta keep the pressure on. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play of Man and Beast for 6 here. Then I'll go to move, and I'll try to have the Beast poke at that.
Yep. Yeah, you got that all day. I got nothing.
Okay. Then I'm gonna have the Goddess of Death go back.
Interesting. Yep. Because you got to move. Yep. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So let's go to here. Then I'll go to my second act. And now if I want to change the card's position, I assume I can't do it on like the turn I've attacked with it or the turn I've played it,
Correct.
right?
Yeah. So you can. Each
Okay.
card has what's called a movement, and the movement can be used in different ways. If you move the card, then it's been moved. Movement's been used. If you orient the card, then that would also be moving the card. So, for
Okay.
example, these face down cards have no movement because they're not face up. But
Mm-hmm.
let's say this Goddess of Death, you didn't want to move back. You just wanted to remove the ability for me to trample you. Then you would just turn it instead of moving it, and now
Got
the
it.
trample's
Okay.
limited. But that would still use your movement. You
Cool.
can't move back and then do that.
Got it. Okay. I think with that, I will shoot over to you.
Okay. Draw for turn. Ah, yes, just in time. Just in time. Let me get all this stuff back up here. All right, we're moving into turn 10. This is where things typically start to begin to end. So I just happened to pull a good defensive card.
Mm.
Oh, whoops. Sorry, everybody that was watching that. That was very abrupt for you. I hit the wrong key. Okay, so on play, and then I can plan 3. Now, when I play this card, technically I should play it like this, so I won't take any trample. So don't let the artwork
Mm-hmm.
get you too consumed to where you play it in the wrong position. But the star in the top corner of this card means it never attacks. So I'm going to go ahead and plan 3, and then 5 to 6. So yeah, I'm going to swing at your card before I do that, just because I know I'm going to end my turn. And then I
Okay.
can plan while you take your turn to speed things along.
So let me think on this real quick. I will. You're gonna move there. I'm gonna attempt to do a guardian.
Okay. Yep. So basically, all my moves are negated for the turn. So you're setting up for something. I need to be a little bit more prepared. So because you're revealing a strategy, I'm going to really upset you here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm going to spend 6 and play Icy Veil. Destroy all in play battlefield cards. But I cannot move this turn. But
Ooh.
I've already taken my move step, so um, clearing the board out.
Okay. So that'll also kill my face down cards?
Yes. Yep.
Or are these technically not battlefields yet? Oh, well, that is upsetting.
Yes. Yep. 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 That's why I was like, should I hurt your feelings? But
I think I actually lose with that.
all right.
Yep.
Now it doesn't do any damage to you. Um,
Yeah, but I'm also out of resources.
yes.
Board wipes are pretty
All
good.
right. So I need to drop 6. Yeah. That's my last ditch effort because I had the feeling you were about to win. Um, so I had to. All right. So let me play in 3 here. I am going to put one of these face down just for kicks here, as I need to. But yes, you can go take your turn.
Okay.
I have no ability to play anything. But yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do here.
I keep playtesting games and keep getting got by board wipes. It's the one downside of um, not always reading the card pool. I will pass it over to you.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Now, do I get priority during your draw step?
That I'm gonna have to
Like, could I
consult the
play a...
judge's rule book for. I'm.
Okay.
What do you mean by priority? You can do something before I draw
Could I play a card with,
the bang. Oh yeah,
um,
the bang goes
yeah.
anytime. It's literally whenever you want
Okay,
it to
cool.
happen.
So in that case, I want it to happen
Oh
now.
yes. Okay, so in response to that, I'm actually going to play
Hmm.
my card. It costs me 0. I can create 2 energy with it. I have to lose 4 life or discard 2 cards. I'm going to choose to discard 2 cards.
Okay.
So you've cleaned out my hand, which I needed that card. I wasn't wanting that. I was wanting to cream you with my guy to win. So I don't have that as an option anymore. Let me untap here. Get my additional cube. And then I'm going to move this out. I played him in the back. I just explained to you how you shouldn't do that. Oh my goodness! So when you flip a card over, you can change its orientation without using a movement because you're technically playing it at that time. And when you play a card, you can play it into any orientation. So he'll be costing me 3 here, -1 for that weight, and I can't get you. No, so disappointing. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna put it out here. All right, your go.
Yep. Okay.
All right. I forgot
Let's
to
get
mention a
this,
rule
get
to you, but I
this,
forgot
and
about it
draw.
myself. There is a thing
Hmm.
called a energy draw where you can spend 6 energy at any time during the game to draw a card during an act step.
Ooh, okay. That's pretty good.
And the reason for that rule is eventually you end up in a situation like this where you got a ton of energy but no cards, and now you're like taking these really slow turns. I didn't want that to be in this game, so it's like
Hmm.
help get things back up to speed if it gets to this point.
Okay. Let's see.
Which I should have technically done that on my turn,
I'm
but I don't
going
want to throw off
to.
the balance here by injecting a rule when it's convenient for me.
I mean, hey, some very famous card games have a source where the media they came from did that very thing. Yu-Gi-Oh! So let's do this, and I think I'm gonna send it over to you.
Okay. So you're not going to do the energy draw, power draw, energy draw.
If I can do it at any time, what that means is the end of your
Oh
turn.
no! So it has to be during your act step.
Oh, during an act.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I can still do it during your act step, right?
No, it has to be your act step. Oh,
Oh, well then I'm gonna go ahead and tap these 6 here.
so let me see if I can pull up the rule book here, just so everybody can see this. So there, energy draw under Act 1 and 2. You can pay 6 energy to draw a card as one of your options. It's bolded.
Okay, great. So in that case, I'm gonna do that real quick and change almost nothing except I can't do that because I already put one down. So I'm gonna change nothing about what I did. Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Draw a card. Please give me something. Oh yeah, I had planned this. So I got to plan 3 with my guy. All right. Let's see if we can actually come in for a closer here. Do I have enough? Maybe. This card is super powerful. But we are in turns 10 and 11. So this is where the game is designed to end. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to play Luminous Summoner. Now,
Oh,
because I have a ton of stuff, I can technically get this out. So I can draw 3 cards and I can play for 0 1 avatar from my hand with a base cost of 8 or less. So it's not like I couldn't play your big prismatic dragon with this, but
that's still pretty good.
2, so that'll be 6 for him, or 8. Wow, okay, it's going to take a lot more than I thought here. Whoa. Okay, so we've got, that should be everything. So 9 total to do, draw my 3 cards here. Then I could play 1 avatar. I did not draw into something crazy good, but this should give me what I want here. So I'm going to go, I can't play there. What am I doing? Wow. Okay, let me be strategic about this. Make sure I have my lineup here correct, so I'm not diving for the same. So, for example, what I was thinking is if I move here to attack this guy, then this guy's want to attack this lane. that means this guy can't attack you directly to close out the game because I don't have angle on one of these back lanes. So I need to play kind of over here so I can go straight into that furthest zone. If I did this, I'm going to block myself off from that direct attack because I have to be in your furthest zones to do so. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I'm going to swing at this guy.
It's a wolf.
Nice. Okay, so I have to send this back to my hand.
And then I have to pay
You
1.
pay 1, and then because it's returned to your hand in this game, that's happening on the battle, and when it's revealed specifically by battle. So on a reveal would be whenever the cards flip face up. Because I hadn't dealt damage to you yet, the targeting happened first for the battle. Therefore, your card doesn't take damage. Your card stays out, which means that I have to decide if I'm
I
going to
get another
swing
turn.
deep. If I swing deep with this guy, he's basically toast. And if I do it with that guy, I'm just going to be ditching cards and losing life if I do that. But I mean, we're so tied up. I feel like I have enough card advantage. I'm going to do this move here. Actually,
Okay,
nope.
so that will
No.
be...
I'm not going to do that. I didn't check the effect. Let me swing here to get rid of your guy.
Yep.
And then I'm going to use this guy's effect. That's the tap symbol. So in my second act step, I can tap him, draw 1, discard 1. I'll do that.
Okay.
And your turn.
Okay.
I'm going to ditch this one for everybody looking.
Grab one of these. And let's see if I can get a card that does something. That is not really gonna do a whole lot for me, I think. Yeah, I can't even remove that guy. So, oh, that's actually very interesting. But it has to be active. I think that might be okay. So I can
You're doing extremely well for your first time playing this.
appreciate it. So let's do, that's 5.
You can see why I prefer to use
So
these
it
little
only cares about.
cubes once you get a lot of cards out.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, the game was designed with this, but I switched over to cards just because of manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
But people do prefer cards. Like you can slip it in a deck box and be done. You don't have to think about other components. So that is nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's another reason for them. So
Yeah.
in the Kickstarter, I'll have like stretch goals for getting to these cubes, unlocking.
Oh, cubes. You could even have like little like spin click counters or something, or like dual tracks for used and spent.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pay 6, and I'm gonna draw 1. I think I can afford to do that. What is this guy? Okay, interesting. That is interesting. I wish I had enough resources for that. Okay. So I believe this works. So I'm gonna do. Okay. I'm gonna play this here. Then I'm gonna play a Sinister Portal,
Man.
and I'm gonna flip the Summoner and my face down.
So active technically will be face up cards.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh, upright or face up? I think
Face
I
up.
meant to do it
Yeah.
this way.
So active cards are cards that are face up. Inactive will be face down.
Oh, that I think is still fine. Actually, that is still okay.
Okay.
Because I just, oh no, because I have to target one of mine. I can't do that at all, actually. Okay.
That's a good thing to
Because
point
I have
out
to
to
target.
folks.
Yeah.
So you'll want to put your card back with a weight counter on it. Well, I guess if it's
Yeah.
throwing
I
everything
think,
off,
oh.
I'll pretend like
No,
I
I
didn't
think
see
I
it.
still just have to do it this way. Yeah, I think that's curtains for me though, because I have 1 resource off of playing this guy. So that will go to you.
Okay. Let's see if I can pull it out of the hat here. I think I can. This is where little
It's
cards
pretty
and cheap
likely.
cards are useful. Whoa. What's going on here? Okay. Just got to catch all these. I find in real life when you're using these upgraded components, the stretch goal thing, it's a lot easier to manage because you're just moving left and right.
Mm-hmm.
It's very very nice energy
Mm-hmm.
management. Um, but not everybody enjoys that. Now, in my regroup step, I can ready cards for free. What that means is I can put this card in that ready position, and that's probably what you were confusing active with ready. Ready means
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
vertical. Um, so I can do that for
Got it.
free. So I can now move this card if I want to. And I'm pretty sure I have enough. This is 1, 3, and 3, so 7 total. I have to make sure I get my angles right here. So 1 here and here. Yes. So that'll be 7. So I'll just take these random 4 here and these 3. My hand keeps popping up, so. All right. We'll just say that's correct, even though they're upside down here. All right. So now I have to be able to maneuver myself appropriately. I'm going to swing with the small guy here.
Yep. So then flip,
Flips.
pay my cube. You'll bounce off.
Yep. Put that in my hand here. And then I'm going to come in and swing with this guy to actually eliminate him. Now you won't get affected by the attack of this, even though it's 4, because you're in that exhausted position. That'll prevent my trample.
Yep.
And then, unfortunately, I positioned my. Actually, I don't think the positioning of my cards could have ever allowed me to win. I can do 4 damage. Oh, and then this guy can swing
Okay.
because he's already out there.
Yeah, I was hoping you didn't realize. Yep.
Yep, yep. So
Yep. And that'll be 10.
that'll be enough. Okay. Sweet.
Yep.
Good game.
Okay. GG's.
I appreciate you letting me win as the creator of the game. It makes it seem like I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
You gotta spice it up.
Yeah. So how many turns was that? I always like to keep track of this stuff just for playtesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So exactly kind of in the middle of what I said it would be. Um, yeah. What are your impressions?
I think it's really interesting. Typically, I think grid games suffer a lot from the chase factor, which I think making it so it's only the rook and the bishop movement's pretty a good way to help mitigate some of that. Um, I think some of the vernacular can be a little like the ready and active and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that can be a little bit to get up front, but it's not too bad. Um, I think the face down terminology could be also a little bit better to like a blankety statement type stuff, because some cards can target them, some cards can't. So it's a little I need to know which is which with just like
Yep.
very specific text. The It felt like creatures died kind of as soon as you played them. So don't really get attached to anything. You either play it down and they'll live a turn or two, or just get outright got. And I do like the tapping to draw. I think that's really useful in an incremental resource system with a lower card draw. Um, Other systems I see do this also let you like ramp for paying some amount of resource, but having at least one of those I think is really solid. Um, Overall, I think it was pretty fun. I think it was pretty fun. Typically not a fan of big board wipes in first sets, but that is what it is. Um, yeah, I think it was pretty cool.
Sweet. So my your overall feedback is keywording, a little bit of tuning there is kind of make sure I'm repeating back to you what I'm hearing. Keywording could be
Hmm.
tuned up a little bit, like inactive should just be called face down cards instead of inactive cards.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's easy, find and replace. I have gone back and forth on that one myself, but it's good to hear that feedback from you because it's like you said, it's not too many keywords to remember, but it is if you don't have me playing with you, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and then because otherwise you're reaching for that rule book. Uh, all right, and the
Hmm.
board wipe. I'm curious why you think board wipes aren't good in a first set. I'm come from Yu-Gi-Oh where like Dark Hole was like the board wipe in the first set. It was nice in that game.
Yeah.
It's like my homage to my
It.
past. I was a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh guy.
Hmm. Hmm. I actually still actively play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, and
Okay.
I think it's different when it's um a resourceless system versus a resource system because the one card represents one card, not necessarily an investment, especially nowadays when there's a bunch of specials and blah blah blah.
Right.
The restriction also on it also isn't really one. You just time it appropriately, you deal your damages in, and then you get to clear. Lots of effects I see like that will do like you can't move at that turn, which means if you did move, you can't activate it, which is actually a Yu-Gi-Oh specific ruling. But in base sets, it's a little difficult, and it's an easy way to create gotchas for new players. Of like what happened with me. It's like, ha, you didn't know this existed. Wipe your whole board, and it's like, oh, I had planned for this. I didn't realize it could happen. I would have changed stuff, but it creates that kind of a feel bad feedback, and then the player kind of like creates a negative point for the card, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that sucks. That was a feel baddy moment, and I lose because of that, and oh shucks, that sucks. And so it's a way to. I don't think they necessarily shouldn't exist, but I think they should be costed appropriately and maybe more. Like if a new person's getting into it and they get got by it, I think there's maybe a better way to kind of demonstrate like don't get attached or plan accordingly. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it just kind of creates a negative feedback loop for a new player in a first set. And like if you feel you need those kind of cards in a first set, like is there something else you could evaluate with cards being weaker or stronger, or is there other ways you could create single or two target removal? Because a big board wipe usually just rewards a control play style, and first set control play style decks are very hard to sell to a player. I could name off, I think, four-ish Kickstarter TCGs that released with a control style deck, and I could also name you four Kickstarter games that no longer exist.
Right.
So I don't necessarily think there's a correlation there, but I do think there is some amount of too many control tools up front are a little too good and could create a stagnant or single deck
Yep.
environment for one or two sets.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. That's very good feedback. The way I'm limiting this one, I made it a cost 6, so maybe the cost of this needs to go up. I don't necessarily want to get rid of board wipes because I do think having those control
Hmm.
features in there, as long, like you said, as long as everybody's aware it exists, I think it's like you had that
Hmm.
counter action that you played early on something that was
Hmm.
fairly weak. Well, it was a really good card. It was a good play on your part, but not knowing that this could be a worse scenario did
Hmm.
throw you off. I agree. I think this one could be tweaked up a little bit. Again, the point of the I'm actually going to plan. I'm planning on a tournament during the Kickstarter that can kind of help garner more
Hmm.
feedback loop during the campaign. And I'm not against ban lists. Like if a card's too good in a first set, if it's throwing things off, then like if you want to play competitively, you can't use that. But I get what you're saying. Like that's not going to be everybody entering into a game. So like this is a feel bad
Hmm.
card. I'll at least potentially pull it from the starter decks. Um,
Yeah, and I don't think they shouldn't exist, but I
correct.
do think having, counter actions, removal, bounce effects, attack negations, a lot of these pieces that um, condensed in one set creates that kind of oh well, my best thing to do is use my three resources to negate your six, 7+ resources, or my two resource to tap your two. Like that's the
Hmm.
kind of play patterns I think you should think about in set one existing, but not necessarily supporting a full control style.
Gotcha.
And with the ban list thing, I think ban lists are totally fine. I think Yu-Gi-Oh does it. I also like combination lists, but those are really complex.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't think a game should release with a ban list. I
Right.
think it
Oh
should
yeah. I'm
release
not
with the
doing that.
intent of everything being legal.
Yes.
And then if you find something is too strong or too powerful, if you haven't printed yet, then change how the card works and then go from there. I see a lot of indie games do that.
Hmm.
Like, oh, we haven't even printed or finalized any cards, but here's our 12 card ban list. And I go, why do you have 12 cards no one can play?
Right.
Doesn't
Exactly.
make any
Yeah,
sense.
we're not doing that. Yeah, there's a lot of cards for this set for an indie game, so I know there's some tweaking that can
Hmm.
happen. I know ban lists happen in every game,
Hmm.
so I'm not afraid of them.
Hmm.
Like it's the Black Lotus type of effect. It's
Yeah.
it's going to be a
Yeah,
hyper
it's a
good
tool.
card.
It's
It creates a narrative and a
hmm.
story around a game too, but like there are some stories that are just old and don't need to be retold. So, um,
Hmm.
yeah, that's really good feedback. Again, a lot of this we basically play tested a ton of this stuff already. Everything's
Hmm.
ready to go. It's just a matter of collecting that feedback, and I'm sure that there'll be plenty of eyes on this. The full card database is available for everybody to look at every single card. I'm going to be putting systems in where they can click on the card and then write a note for it for everybody to see, and people can have conversations about cards right
Mm.
inside the deck builder. So that'll be pretty sweet. I don't know when that'll roll
I
out,
would be
but
sure to have moderation on that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll figure that out. But I can always pause that feature. But it's something that I have in mind. It's like I want this to be a community
Oh
driven
yeah.
game. I don't want it to be, oh, Kevin's the knows the best thing ever. Like that's a really good way to end the game, because then it's like, who is this one dude dictating out how this game's gonna go? Um,
Oh, I could also name a couple games that did that and didn't do very well.
hmm So definitely community oriented is kind of the game plan here. As we're small, as we add team members, obviously that becomes more ownership of the company. But in the beginning, definitely community based growth and dynamic and refinement. I think Age of Empires, even like you think the community really has provided a lot of feedback on how to tweak and modify that and make that a better game. Age of Empires 2 is what I'm talking about. But anyways, I'm digressing.
Hmm.
So thank you so much for playing. This has been awesome.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for showing it to me.
hmm And thank you for giving me the ability to have some content so people can see the game being played
Of course.
with the new design. With the new design. But yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
excellent.